Well, welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Welcome to the third season of 2022. This is a space for unfiltered dialogue about faith, mental health, and uncomfortable conversations. Basically, we are trying to rid the world of Facebook, fake, and Twitter takes. Look at what I came up with on the drive here.
I was like, Twitter takes.
You know how like everyone just has like this big take and no one talks.
Yeah, and and you only get a limited character, so
Correct.
you like have to get it out.
I mean, part of it is we don't want people to be fake, and part of it is that we want people to actually talk.
Yeah.
So again, I came up with that as I was driving while I was late. So
what's the Instagram one? Instagram.
I couldn't come up with one, so I just left that.
Instagram skank.
Well, it should start with an I. Facebook fake, Twitter takes, Instagram
Ideology.
Yes.
Anyways,
that would be really awesome.
Before we jump into everything, just want to let you guys know that we are going to change the release date for the podcast. It's going to be on Mondays now. Several reasons for that. Actually, just one. I want the weekend to edit, so just giving me a little bit more breathing room during the week, especially when I have the other podcast. I just need some extra time, and it's now. Will I be proactive and do it Saturday morning? No, it'll be Sunday night probably, and I'll be bitching the whole time. No, I'm gonna try to be proactive about it,
and it will make Mondays better for people.
It will,
because they'll be able to look forward to hearing our sexy, amazing voices.
Yes.
Like this. Hello, baby.
So anyways, how was your weekend as we're getting into did you like that?
Yes, it was a smooth transition. Well, we had COVID in our house. Natalie got COVID. She was exposed on Tuesday, starting Thursday. Well played.
It was a little late, but I was trying to get my deck up.
You're like I didn't know what you were grabbing for. And she tested, I think she tested Friday, and that was a negative test, but then kept feeling more and more tired. That was her main symptom, was tired. But today, she lost her taste and smell.
No.
Yeah.
So the symptoms are getting kind of...
Except for everything else is clearing up. She's not as stuffy. She's not that, but taste just went away. So the last thing she tasted was curry that we had last night, and then it's done.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to taste curry because Indian food's gross.
No, it's not.
No, I've never had it.
Remember the guy who wanted to do a food blog has not had much of the flavors of the world.
It was not a food blog. It was going to be a funny thing, like we would try on the air and watch me like barf into the microphone.
I thought you and Megan though wanted to do a food blog at one point.
I mean, it was more of it was, we have this fantasy of like being, going around to all these restaurants and using it as an excuse to go to nice restaurants, but.
Something I notice every time that I've gone out to eat with you, it's normally your food that's not as good as everybody else.
It's been a rough go for me, hasn't it?
Yeah,
the last two times we went out. It was not great.
I know.
What did I get?
Mac and cheese, grown-up mac and cheese.
Oh, God. The circle back.
Anyways, I don't know how that got me down that trail. So anyways, but you know what, though, was the good of it was that we really did nothing, and we slept, and we were on like technology and shows as a whole family because we were stuck inside.
Kind of a good, I mean, it's not good by any means, but you probably caught up on a lot of shows that you've been wanting to binge
as a family, and just it was really chill, which was good after the month that we've had. So,
and I made sure I gave Mike a big kiss before we started recording, just in case he had it, so I could get it.
Even though I did test on Saturday because I was really tired Saturday, must have just been tired. So I was good on that. Have had no other symptoms.
Yep.
So how was your weekend, Dr. Jason?
It was not great.
Uh-oh.
No, it was okay. It was the weekend of Labor Day. I went back and forth if I wanted to go up. As you know, as you have heard, I'm struggling a little bit with the mother-in-law stuff, and Megan is too. It's not just me. It's the whole family thing, and we're working through some things, but we did have a little flare up. It wasn't too bad, but just.
And is it harder because Megan wasn't there?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, she's my rock. She's my go-to. We work together well when it comes to managing family things. And we did that with my parents before we kind of broke ties. And so, we always have a game plan, and we try to do the right thing. And she wasn't there. And It was okay. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I wanted to see my son, and I don't know if he wasn't up there, if I would have gone up, just because it's just been tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint anything particular, but yeah. If she listens to this, it's not a secret that we're struggling. So
Yeah.
I know we're trying to work through things and that kind of stuff, but all in all, it wasn't horrible. The weather sucked. Like Friday, we got there about noonish. No, about 2.
Okay.
Beautiful. I said to the kids, "Hey, you want to go on the boat? You want to go to the beach?" No. They sat and watched TV, and then the rest of the weekend was pretty much
garbage weather.
Pretty much cold.
So the one day they could have gone, they didn't go.
And I'm trying to not force them to do things. If they want to watch TV and chill, it's their time off.
Yep.
I mean, if they want to give it up, I'm not going to force them. I'm going to offer to do things with them. If they say no, okay, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. But that makes it a little bit harder.
I mean, kids don't appreciate that outside in that peaceful time until they're older.
Correct.
You know, they just want to be on their phone, and
yeah. It is kind of like heartbreaking though. I remember when Cam says, "Dad, I don't really like to hike. There's nothing to do." And you're like, it's the most peaceful thing in the world, but to him, peaceful's bad.
Right.
It's like entertainment, screen time.
Well, I mean, I think they want all that input in their head right now, and we want it out. We want to break from the input.
For sure. So. Like sometimes, like when like Cam will be on social media all day, and then when he showers, he wants to listen to music. And most of the time, we'll let him listen to music. But some nights we're like, no. He's like, why? It's like, because you've had no downtime.
Right.
And your brain needs it, but he has no desire.
I'll even, when I drive home from work, I don't listen to anything. The radio's off because I've listened to podcasts for 8 hours or music, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Most of the time leaving here, I'll be in silence for a while.
Okay.
Because I had too much Jason. No, I'm just messing.
You ass.
But well, and I knew it wasn't going to be good because you on Thursday, I was kind of joking that you should come over and drink, and then so that you wouldn't have to go up Friday, and you almost did. I think you were tempted.
I mean, I would have.
You were tempted to come over. You were tempted.
I had to train. If it's anything with like I had to run.
Friday, you didn't. Friday's a day off.
Yeah, no. I mean, Thursday night you had offered that, and I had
after training. You could have come over, had some drink.
Yeah, I would have got COVID.
No, you were outside, and you know I didn't get COVID.
I know. Anyways,
kissing Natalie when she had COVID and I didn't get it. Who's the toughest dude in the world? Watch, I'll get it tomorrow.
Oh my
god,
like,
Jason. So guess what?
You know, I don't know if I told you, and then we'll jump into the icebreaker real quick. My buddy Larry that I went to the podcast movement with, he got COVID bad.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Bad. He was down for like 10 days. Like he's just getting back to work.
Really?
Yeah. So fully vaccinated, but you know that doesn't mean anything.
Well, we hope for Natalie then that it won't be that way then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
10 days.
10 days.
But he's also older.
He is. I think, gosh, Larry, if you listen to this,
I'm sorry, Larry. I mean, older than that.
Mid-50s, maybe. Okay. I mean, he was retired from his first job. He's on to his second one.
Oh, yeah.
So
definitely older than Natalie by a long
shot.
Yeah.
Natalie's going to be 40 this year.
I know. She loves that. Everyone's talking about 40. Okay. So we're going to do one. Am I the asshole? So, Jason, have you ever shared a password to Netflix or something like that? Has it ever gone bad? No. This story is about it going bad, and so we have to decide, is she the a-hole? I have had a Disney Plus. I've had Disney Plus since it came out, and I let my friend and boyfriend have access to it since I don't watch it much. I only have it so my brother can watch stuff on there. I don't mind letting my friend have access to it, but this weekend I found out that she had given the login information to her grandmother and ex-boyfriend. I've never met either of them, but they have both said rude things about me in the past, according to my friend. Once I found out they had been using this the whole time, I immediately changed my password and didn't say anything to my friend. My friend, her ex, and her grandmother couldn't use the account today. I got a text from my friend asking why I changed the password. She said that it shouldn't matter who has access to it since I never watch it. She's actually pretty mad at me right now, but I don't think I did anything wrong. I would never share info like that with other people unless I had permission. Am I the a-hole for changing the password? And then here's an edit. She also gave her father the login info, And also probably not important, but I felt like I should add it. I found out that they'd access when her ex sent me a message on Facebook asking for the password. The relationship ended because he was secretly engaged, but she had still given him the password after they had broken up. So is she the a-hole for sharing or not sharing the password, changing the password? So,
Well, I mean, this is easy. Of course, she's not the a-hole.
yeah, she is.
Why?
I'm just messing.
Oh, I was like, okay, here we go.
I was like, I don't know.
It's on like Donkey Kong. I'm like, no. I mean, first of all, is what $10, $15 a month?
Yeah.
Like, you can't get you're mad because the other. I don't care if it's $3,000 a month and I don't use it. If I let you use it, that's fine. But if you're gonna be
and then share it with other, why in the world did she share it with other people? Like,
right,
that's the point I don't get.
yeah, no, that's the rudest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you are 100% not the asshole. You should be rewarded and you should have a Medal of Honor.
And I think Disney Plus should give you some months free for actually doing it. So, hey, Money Squash 6169, you're not the a-hole, and we hope that you realize that. And we should, I'm thinking of ways to promote this. We should actually post that. Post this episode on the thread.
I would love to, but Reddit is like terrible. Like,
really?
The mods on there and the rules. Like, I've tried to grow both the shows on there, and it gets kicked off like right away.
Oh, man.
There's no way. I wonder if we created our own subreddit and then we could tag that person. I don't know how. Like, I don't comment a lot on Reddit. I'm a big lurker. I'm on Reddit a lot, but I don't know if you can tag a person.
Yeah, I'm not as up on Reddit. Like, I'm new to Reddit. I should have been on Reddit like 15 years ago, but just started like a year ago.
It's so funny. I was looking into Starlink for up north because our phones are terrible. And I saw that there was no contract. And I was like, sweet, we could have it for the summer and then cancel it or whatever. But I wanted to email support and just ask questions. Well, there's no spot to email support. So I just go to Reddit. Of course, there's a subreddit for Starlink. So I just joined it, and eventually I'll ask the question in there.
Nice.
Because it says you can cancel anytime, but it doesn't guarantee immediate activation again due to the demand in the area.
Yeah.
Basically, what it's saying is if it gets too busy in that area, you might not get on. But that's not going to happen up at the cabin.
It shouldn't. It depends on the number of satellites. Because my parents are looking at it for their house.
Yeah.
And it all just depends on the number of satellites, right, that fly over.
Does it change during depending on the time of the year?
Well, I think if there's more demand in the area, they send up more for the area. So maybe there might be one, I don't know.
Oh,
for the area. So maybe I don't know. Who knows? Anyways,
well, it's $5.99 for the equipment.
Yep.
And it's $110 a month. I told my mother, I'm like, I'll split the cost with you. Yeah. Like, even if I'm only up there 4 times, I don't care.
Yeah.
If it's only for 3 months and then we shut it off, so it's $55 a month basically I go up there in May, July, and September, and I do open and close. But
well, that's I mean, you're gonna spend more than that in gas. So what's the big deal of spending it for good internet?
Yeah, I guess my point is I'd rather have zero service. Like, my phone is a brick.
True.
Or I get full bars because this half-ass shit, like that morning I texted you because it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was either Monday or Sunday morning and no one was on their phone. Like, I had got up to ruck the stairs.
Yeah.
That is the earliest I'd been that week. And it was like 7:15. So I had signal because no one else was up yet on their phone. And not just me, but I'm talking about people around the lake. Yeah. Everyone else was, sleeping or whatever.
Huh. Well, because there's that one time you sent someone in the morning, didn't come through till the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then we're talking in the afternoon. You're like, I sent that. I'm like, nope, it just came through. I think it was after I sent you something.
Yeah, it was about the rucking. You were like, yeah, you told me in the message. I'm like, that was 8 hours ago. Anyways, I want to thank our sponsor, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, for sponsoring the show. You can call them at 532-6600 and, of course, schedule online. They just, I think the official grand opening of their new place is on the day of the car show on September 17th from 9 to 1, I think, 9 to noon, something like that. It's the charity they're using is CASA. I think it's to help kids that are going into foster care. I can't remember what CASA stands for.
I think it is. I think it.
Yeah, it's like give them like stuff to be more at home.
Sure.
I think if Megan's still listening, I'm sure she'll comment on it. But But yeah, so they've expanded everything. I have not been there yet. My truck needs to go in before gig season starts. I'm not looking forward to it because it's going to be expensive. I've been putting off some stuff. So, but anyways,
you'll know that it's been done right when you
hell
bring
yeah.
it there. So
I've
that's the most important.
I've never had to bring my car back.
Nice.
So 532-6600 or irvines.com. Also want to thank our Patreons, Joe Pellerito, Kate. I'm just going to say the last initial because I don't know how to pronounce the rest of them. Well, I know Megan didn't have. Joe P, Kate K, Lisa K, Megan D, Lisa K. I have not had any action from her. I know she's from the Zane show, so I know that, but I've never spoken to her ever. So I was really shocked when she subscribed over our season break, too.
Over our season break, because maybe that was like, please keep quiet and please don't come back.
I don't know, but maybe she's the one that's binging all our episodes.
Someone's binging them.
Someone's binging.
Do you know what's been so nice for this month? I have not looked at stats, and it's been so good for my mental health.
Yeah, I don't really look much either. I'm in Gig a lot because we have ads in there, and they change all the time. So I literally have to log in every day, and it's like, oh, that's a good one, or that one's garbage. You know what I mean? So I look at Gig stats all the time, but I don't really look at Threads much.
I'll look at it, and it's either going, but like it's never good for the mental health, whether it's good or bad. It's not good for the mental health.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is. If it's great for the mental health.
No, it's terrible because it's basing your mental health on people liking it.
No, but for me, it's like the grind that I've done. I mean, we're creeping on 200 episodes. Like all of a sudden, we get these huge spike. I'm like, finally, like it's catching on. I mean,
200.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. Is that gonna happen this year? You had figured out the math.
It's gonna happen pretty soon. I mean, because this is episode 190,
so
10 more.
So September, October. So it'll be like the second week in November.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We should eat turkey
on the show.
Just film us
for the
turkey.
For the 200th episode. Oh God, we'd get canceled.
Or everyone can send in why they're thankful that we are blabbing every single week. Tell us why you're thankful for us now.
It's funny. The season ends and we don't record in December. Like, how perfect is that?
I know. Like, peace out.
We take a lot of time off in December anyway. So, all right. Personal update. As I teased a little bit, Mike has some big news. Mike, you have the floor for the next 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Well, I lost my job on July 26th. That was quite the surprise. All of a sudden I come into work and then I am told that I am no longer working there. And so all of a sudden that was quite the shock. I just come back from a big trip with high schoolers, had done all that. It was a successful trip. I think the Sunday before, maybe 2 Sundays before. We got up in front of church. The students talked about all the ways they experienced God, blah, blah, blah. And then, I think it was like 9 days later, boom, you're out. And you can pick up your stuff at 4:00.
So I'm not in shock, y'all, because I've known about this for a long time.
For over a month.
I've had my rage moments. I've had my conversation with Natalie, the ride and die of
you guys, I don't want to know what your guys' chats were, because she, of course, because she's the spouse, and Natalie she comes off as the sweetest, but she's the one you should always be afraid of with us.
I'm a little afraid of her, but I want her to be my ride and die too. Like my wife is, of course, but I mean, like if I had to bury a body, I'm not calling you. I'm calling Natalie
100%.
Straight up, like
100%.
Yeah. So I wasn't happy with it. I was very angry. But things are leveling out through the community, and the people that know, the important people that know.
Yeah. I haven't really been that angry about this. It's you and Natalie who are the most angry. I'm just going, okay, God, what's next? Because I'm normally a future thinker as it is. So like, it's like, okay, this stinks and this sucks. And there's moments of going, well, crap, there's, money that was paid out that will last for so long, and that, that date's coming. But like overall, I'm like, you know what? There's a better future ahead.
Moving forward, what are the plans? You financially been taken care of for a couple of months.
Yeah, for a few months. And so what's really, it's really cool, whether, it's a God moment or whatever people want to describe it as, that week there was an org that reached out to me, a nonprofit. Actually, it was kind of like a group of churches, really hard to explain, but there's a group of churches, and they train pastors, but they also plant churches. And they reached out to me the week that I had gotten fired.
No
And
way. Like random?
well, I had reached out just because I was taking classes through them, and I was just like, hey, the classes I'm taking, I'm not sure what will continue on because you need a church. Because I was in process to become a pastor, and I was taking classes for that, and it was through my old church. It was under their care, I should say.
Yeah.
Right, taking classes. I was like, well, I'm no longer under their care, and right now there's no church I'm under the care of. Well, like, hey, can we meet yet this week? I was like, hey, this is not a good week for that. Can we wait till next week? And they're like, yeah, for sure. So I meet with them, and they're like, hey, like, we've really heard good things about you. We want a church plant. We want to partner with you in church planting, which is just starting churches. We think you have gifts and skills, and people have known you and say awesome things about you. And I'm just sitting there in shock. Like, so we went through a ton of things. I was like, hey, can somebody like write this down and send them so I can show Natalie what they are? Because otherwise I'll forget.
Well, you're overwhelmed.
I was so overwhelmed. And that next morning I woke up and said to Natalie, I'm like, if they wouldn't have written those down, I don't know that I would believe that those were true.
Right.
Because they were just seeing things in me and like, hey, like, we see this in you. Like, we want to partner. We want to do this because of all these things about you. And not like, hey, awesome, it's Mike, but like, you're gifted in this way.
Nice.
Here's
That's
gifting.
great.
Here's that. So that was really good. Then Natalie and I sat down with them. She can tell when there's something up with people. She knows when people are maybe hiding truth and like using people. And we met with them, and every box was checked for her and for me.
Isn't that sad you had to worry about that in the Christian, like?
It's just the reality of the church. There's a lot of Facebook fake that happens as we try to rid the world of that. But it was so it's been just awesome all the way around, highly supportive. They're paying for things, doing everything they can to start getting a church off from the ground. So that's the future. That involves fundraising. That involves basically like starting a business and trying to figure out how to make money in that meantime. So that's the part where, I'm like, as a husband and as a dad and as a homeowner, I'm going, well, that stinks. But also, from all the steps I've seen, all the ways that God has shown up, that I don't doubt that he's going to continue. There's times I worry about that, but it's not a doubt. It's going, I don't see how that's going to happen, but he has continually provided little things along the way.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the feedback that you got from them. Like, Mike doesn't tell me shit, by the way. Like, I swear he saves all the content for the podcast. I didn't know that part.
Save it for the podcast, baby.
I'm surprised he kept that he got fired, let go, whatever, same thing. From me, so he could like surprise me on the show.
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh,
for a
my
month?
gosh, I would have first of all, I've been offended that you didn't tell me. Second of all, I don't know if I would have been able to do the whole show.
No, you would have dropped so many F-bombs.
Oh, it would have been. I would have like got Natalie, put her on like speakerphone, and be like, "What's going on?"
Well, I mean, some of these things though, like church planting, doesn't make a lot of sense and all of that. So like in person is better. And we've only hung out for my birthday.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the time to go into like full depth of like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And at that time, did I fully know? I don't know. All these timelines are all blurred together.
Well, again, back to my original statement, I'm glad that, I don't know much about you outside of like our relationship. When people say that they believe in you, you've done good things. I was like, dude, do they know this guy? Like,
this guy's a jerk.
He fucking shows up late like every damn time. By the way, he's late tonight. I was ready to go at 7:15.
No, you were not.
Okay, I was pooping at 7:15.
No, because even when I got here, you weren't ready to go.
Well, there's a couple of things I have to do before.
You were bullshitting with other business stuff. You weren't ready to go.
You weren't either. I was giving you time to prep.
I was sitting here ready to go. Just, anyways.
Whatever.
Yeah, I tend to be late. It's because I try to get everything in and get one last thing in. Well, this is the first time I've been late in a while, so anyways.
Do you want me to bounce into some of mine, or do you want to just finish up your end?
Yeah, so kind of like with the mental health, right? I think this can be a big thing. What's really cool is one of my mentors through the classes I was taking, wants to continue to meet. And he wants to take me through this book that he says has been helpful for him as he's dealt with some big things. And that's, I find the blessings of that. It's going to sound very Christian, but of people again who've walked through really tough stuff, wanting to make sure that I walk through because they care about my heart.
Yeah.
And you've been a friend who cares about it, but he's just a friend who's been through and also has coached people through it.
Yeah, and he knows the biz.
Yeah.
He knows, saying it's a business. I mean, it kind of is. I mean,
there's a part of it that's definitely a business. He's walked through hurt. So anyways, just that's been really cool. Cause again, that's my big concern is my heart and my mental health. Cause again, I think that could really go off the deep end with all that's going on, especially because again, there was major loss. So when people talk about it, it's not just losing a job, because that's just a job. You can find another job like that, but there's community. The place you go every Sunday. And then the hardest has been Cam.
Yeah.
Because again, he was like, does this mean I can't see so-and-so? And again, that hasn't meant that so far for us. Luckily, those people still are involved in our life, but just to see your son, just like his social circle gone.
Yeah, no one talks about it's like divorce, right? It's
it really is.
It affects the kids. No one talks about that because, of course, you're not going to prevent him from seeing them, but you're not going to send him to that youth group anymore.
Correct.
I mean, and that's he'll stay in connection with some of those kids, but a lot of them it'll fall off. It's just kids, especially at that young age, only connect when they're at youth group, or school. But some of those kids probably don't go to a school. Most
of them don't. Most of them are from, about half of them are from the same school, which is not his school. But so that's been, the hard part. And just, now I do have to say though, Sunday mornings are the most chill Sunday mornings that we have had, because we don't go anywhere on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
So that's been chill.
That's nice. It's a good time to
have brunch together.
Yeah.
Sunday brunch is amazing.
Yeah.
Must be nice. Anyways, last thing is I training for the half. I've been dealing with shin splints.
Yeah, you've been falling off the training, bro.
I've been dealing with injury, bro.
No, I haven't heard injury from you for a week, and you're supposed to do tempo run this week.
And what did I do today?
Yeah, I know, but it sucks. That run today sucked.
So did Hills.
Well, I know, but I didn't want to do it, and I want you to suffer with me.
I suffered, and I took care of our dog.
But the problem is I don't know you're suffering. When I know you're doing the tempo run, I know you're suffering because I'm suffering too. Yeah, we're running at different paces, but it's still the same suck.
It's 400 feet of elevation change over the course of 2 miles.
It's just tough for me because, even with running the riverbank, I trained all by myself.
See this one every once in a while. I made a great adjustment today.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree that I think you should have run the tempo run or flipped it. I mean, you had it all day. You don't have a job, so it's what the fuck?
Yeah, what am I doing all day? Oh wait, classes, getting stuff done, writing papers on theology.
Oh gosh,
do you want to write papers on theology?
I don't know how to spell theology, so there is no way. But
theology,
theol, is it THEOLOGY? Okay,
theology. See, you could spell it.
I don't have the time to do that shit.
Anyway, so I'm taking classes. I know. So, but anyways, I got the training in. I got the dog rants because Natalie hasn't been able to do that. 2 birds, 1 stone. It sucked.
Yeah.
I had to buzz my dog because she's being a pain in the butt. But.
Yeah, but see, that's another thing too. You can't focus on the training. It's all about you in that training. You're out there to clear your mental health, not worry about the dog.
She got better after the first 5 minutes. I just had to shock her a couple times. I know it sounds terrible, but people give their
correct.
Dog. I had to correct her a couple times.
You say that it's much better.
Otherwise, PETA comes after me. I had to correct her a couple times, but she was good after that, and she was panting at the end. She was tired. She drank 2 bowls of water at the end. So.
Oh damn! When you got back home?
No, to our car.
You bring water with you?
Well, and we have the stupid little expandable bowls.
Oh yeah.
So once we got back, and I'm like, holy crap, you are thirsty.
It was more humid out than I really noticed. A little bit today, I was I turned the air on in the truck and then I turned it off because I got a little cold. And then I was I got in for my next stop and I was it's kind of hot in here. And so I turned the air on. It was like back and forth. But then when
Yeah.
I went out running, even my warm up 10 minutes, I was like, it's dripping off my elbow already.
It's a weird spot.
Your arms don't sweat?
No, they do, but I just never think about dripping off from my elbow.
Usually my first sweat, I know I'm warmed up when I get a drip off my left elbow.
Your left one first?
I don't know why. It comes down and
well, you also hold your hands, I notice, a little higher than some do.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you hold them up, and I hold them here, and some people hold them here, but you hold them up. No wonder your drips off there.
Yeah, maybe. I guess people have the weirdest running. I see people run. I was like,
my favorite is when people go side to side. I'm like, that is not helpful no matter what.
I'm like, that looks very uncomfortable.
When swaying your body. So, what was it, Saturday? Oh, no, Sunday, because I did my long run Sunday. Sunday was amazing weather in the morning.
Yeah.
It was cool. Was Saturday as well?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Those are the best.
No. When I got back, the sweat was down to my belly.
Of course, there's sweat.
Yeah.
But like
Monday morning was great. When I went to the stairs, it was like 54 degrees, but I still was dripping sweat when I was done. By the way, lower calves, a little juicy today.
Are they?
Not as bad as the division steps, but a little juicy today.
So other than I had some shin splints and getting back on the horse again. I'm like, okay, I feel like I could really push and contend.
I mean, it's 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away,
6 weeks, 6 weeks away.
Yeah,
we got some good training, maybe even 7 weeks. I don't know. It's some good training left.
Yeah,
it's September. It's the month that counts.
Yeah. Well, speaking of running,
the month you were injured.
The month I was injured.
You were injured last year during September.
Was I?
The month that mattered.
Okay.
Speaking of running, I've heard a rumor about you that you are a world famous runner.
I am a prize runner.
Woohoo! Okay, you have to have a button for like applause.
Let's see. I don't
happy.
Really
Something happy.
This is about as close as I can get. I was telling Jesper I don't have a happy bell on here.
I will send you to Jesus.
That's not happy.
That's all I got.
That's a crappy.
I was gonna play that after you said you got fired, but I thought it would have been appropriate.
That would have been very funny. So for you, it'd be like, woohoo!
Yeah, I gotta find happy. That's funny. That's come up twice. So I ran a trail race, which was very small as far as contestants. I don't know when it was, August 10th.
Sure,
whatever it was. And I've never done a trail run, and so I was a little nervous on it. I was excited. I didn't know what kind of shoes to wear. I was convinced that I should wear my trail shoes, which are a little tight. And as we know, or no one knows, I have switched to these branded shoes that no one's ever heard of, but they're super wide toe box. I put my work boots on in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, these are so tight. It takes me like an hour to adjust to them. But anyways, so it was all just, new stuff. And so it was supposed to be a 10K, right? Which is 6.1 miles. So I take off and I'm doing okay and blah, blah, blah. Ends up finishing. It's 5 miles. I'm like, okay.
Wasn't it 4.9?
Yeah, it was like, yeah. So it was a little less than 5.
So it's 1.3 miles short
of what they said it was going to be.
Also, you're like, I'm near the end.
Well, it's funny. Like I hit the water course and she's like, oh, a little over a mile left. I'm like, she's high as hell. Like when I'm like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And all of a sudden I start hearing the announcer. I'm like, oh shit. So anyways, I ended up placing third out of the men. Because a woman actually won, I think, the 10K. But it was a 7 men, and I placed second or third. I can't remember.
Second of men, right?
Second of men, yeah.
Okay.
So I actually won a free entry into any of their runs, which I realized it was called the Brainy Day Run. That's their only running event. The rest of them are triathlon.
Or you should do triathlons. You and Joe.
I don't like riding bikes on the road with people. They're crazy.
Really?
So dangerous. I drive all day. I constantly see people looking down at their phone when they're driving past me. It's nuts.
Oh, you don't want to ride.
I'm not comfortable with people on the road. They're going to hit me and kill me.
But in a triathlon, though, the road's a block.
Correct. But how do I train for that?
You can go up and down the Kent Trail.
You
know how boring that would be?
You cannot do that because you have to stop at the cross streets. You need long stretches of road where you can just bury your head in the and so I would love to do that, but I think I'm going to transition to more ultra running, like longer distances in trails.
Okay.
More trails.
Okay.
I don't think my body can handle this on the road. Like, that kind of
See,
stuff.
I was just gonna say the opposite. I don't know if I was thinking on the way here or not. But I was like, I wonder if Jason's gonna start doing more short races, like 10Ks, because like you excel at 10Ks.
I do. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't think it was that great. My pace wasn't amazing, but it was good for trail running. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know what to shoot for. So anyways, I'm going to sign up for that race next year. And let's say add more running events, I might do it. So,
Nice.
so that was good. I was actually pretty proud of that. I know there's only 7 people, but I was pretty shocked when I got the text because I didn't stay around for awards. I'm like, I'm out of here. We're way out in freaking Muskegon. I'm like, I want to go home.
Yeah,
And
I'm out.
my friend texted me. She was like, "You got second place out of Met." I was like, "What the hell?" So that was cool.
No, that is cool. I totally joke that there are only 5 guys and you got second, but
There's
there were 7,
7.
and still that's good. You got second place. You did well. Yeah, especially for the first trail run because that's way different.
And it was fun. I mean, it there were times I wanted to stop, but I was like, "No, keep going." And what's weird, Mike, you would hate this. I was like the bunny for a long time. There were 2 people on my and I did not like that. And what's weird is there's not a lot of passing room.
I remember you saying that before.
So you had to communicate with them. Finally, at one point, and I caught up to some woman. She didn't like the pressure and she stepped off. So I passed her.
Okay.
And at one point I did let go. It's so funny. Maybe people won't be interested in this, but the 2 people behind me was a man and a woman. The woman kept saying, "Oh," I was like, "Hey, I hope this is the okay pace. You're welcome to pass me anytime. Just let me know." "No, you're fine. I'm tired. I'm going to walk the hills. I'm injured." Okay. Right. We get to the water break and I let them pass. She took off like a bat out of the hell. She freaking won it.
She lied to you.
She lied. She was playing a mental game that whole damn time.
She was like, "Oh, I'm hurt," because she was worried that you were gonna beat her.
Probably. So she held back behind me and she was basically drafting. So the first like 3 miles, they were behind me. And the guy passed me and the girl. The girl took off like a bat out of hell. I caught the guy. He stopped. He had to walk and I passed him. I'm like, "See ya." Like I didn't do that. I was friendly, but I'm like, okay. Now it's just me and her, but I could never catch her.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
So there must have been a different guy that was
way ahead. So I stayed back when the quote unquote gun went off.
Yeah.
And I swear there were more people in front of me. I passed another guy too.
Okay.
So I passed a girl, a guy, and then a guy late in the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyways, yeah, she was totally Goggins you.
Yeah.
Goggins-y.
Yeah. But I used that. I told you that. I was like, I wanted to walk, and I'm like,
who's gonna carry the boat?
That's what I kept saying to myself, and I kept going, and I kept my pace up. Like I've used that mantra several times since I listened. I have not quite finished with the book, but I'm close.
Finished the book. Just finish the
dang
book.
I had a lot of podcasts I had to catch up
Yeah,
on.
but just finish the book. No, but like I've used that phrase too, and then with other friends and I'll be like, "Who's gonna carry the boat?" And they just get a random voice message like that.
Yeah.
So lucky them.
No,
that's really cool. You are a prize-winning runner. You also were on Strava as a section legend at one point, segment legend. You are just you should turn pro.
No.
Masters pro.
No, I'm not that fast.
The old age pro.
I see my friend that the realtor, I see her times on Strava. And she's out this morning. She was like doing like 12 miles at like 8:50. And I'm like, "Julie, what the fuck?" I'm like, "You're so good. Like, I'm so jealous." Anyways, and so a couple other things. Avery's in high school now. She started driver's training. So that's been.
You're old.
I know, dude. You
have a second kid in high school. Well, not like 2 right now, but your second kid now going through high school.
Yeah.
Driver's training.
Yep. She's doing good. I mean, it's only the first couple weeks of school. But she hates driver's training. Bunch of weirdos in there. Like I remember driver's training being a little weird too. But she's like, there was some kid in there. He had like this long knife in a sheath and he like pulled it out in class. And then
what?
I don't know. Some hillbilly.
What?
I know. And then there was some other story she told me too. I'm like, what in the actual hell is going on in that class? And she's like, what's funny is there's mostly 16-year-olds in there because during the pandemic, they all got delayed. So she's like, she's 14 and 9 months. So she's like young in there. So
she's the young, and then there's the 16-year-old creepers with weapons.
yeah, I'm like
Weapons.
I think you can open carry a large knife, and that's not illegal. You have to open carry it though, just like a weapon. Like you can open carry a firearm without a license.
But like as a minor, as a 16-year-old,
Good point.
they aren't 18-year-olds.
Yeah, good point. I don't know.
It feels like that is wrong because anything over 3 inches is a weapon.
Yeah,
with a knife.
But it's different if you open carry it. But again, I did tell her if it happens again, let me know, and I'm going to mention something to the teacher.
Yeah, but like that's a little weird. You don't need a sword in driver's training,
right?
At least not that I know of.
No, you might, but again, talking about trail running, I'm doing Mount Baldy this weekend.
Oh yeah, 312 stairs.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I don't know where it is in the race either. Is it at the end? I have to look at the race course.
It might be at the end of the shorter race because I think that the long race does it too. But anyways, that is going to suck.
The long race does it too. So the long race is 12 and a half. I'm doing 8.5 because 12 and a half does not line up with my training. I want to do the longer one, but I'm not ready. I mean, I'm not ready. And I mean, I could do it. I think of Goggins when I say I'm not ready, but he's a different level. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm training for something else. I have to look at the big picture.
Yeah, I mean, your big picture is you want to break that 2-hour mark.
I have decided that's not gonna. You're looking at the race course.
Yeah, but it pulled up California. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
You can look at it while I'm talking, but yeah, I have moved that that goal off the 2 hours. I don't think I'm there yet. I'm struggling with my weight a little bit, creeping back up, and I need to be in the 170s to peel off those 9-minute miles. I really do, because that's roughly where I need to be.
But you know what the best part is though, you're thinking you'll get down to like what 205 or what do you think is
my goal is to beat my Ann Arbor, which was 213. So
I thought you were 209.
Maybe I was 209. I'll have to verify.
You might have been 213. Anyway,
my goal is to beat that time. So if I can get under whatever that is, I will be happy with it. Because I walked a little bit. I walked that hill.
That hill was terrible.
I know. I did not prepare for that. I will know. Like if we ever run that one again, I will know that hill. Like I will you got a big ass hill.
Wasn't it you who sent like some people like talked about that race and they're like that hill is terrible?
Yes.
Was it you who sent all this stuff?
I don't remember, but I did look at some after the fact. I looked at that and I don't know. I don't remember sending anything to you. But
it looks like because we were wondering if the Grand Rapids half had as much elevation gain.
Yes, I sent you those gains,
and I think anyways. Somehow I looked at the Ann Arbor marathon and half marathon, and people were like, the hill is terrible. You're running through the woods. It's basically a trail.
Yeah, it's a trail
because it wasn't paved at that point.
And I'm fine with that. It's just I hit that hill, I'm like, oh, there's no way in hell I'm running up this hill. I had already gassed out by then.
So it looks like the stairs are about halfway through.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'd rather finish with them.
No, you're gonna still have to run after the stairs. Another probably at least half of the course, if not 3/4.
See, here's what happens.
You're gonna be gassed.
Here's what happens. You decide to go up there fast, and then you realize after you've done it, you've lost every ounce of fuel in your tank, and you still have more running to do.
Yeah, you better bring some fuel. You better Mike Van Drie that and bring some fuel for the race.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the fueling stations. I've been training my long runs to do water every 2 miles. I've been bringing it with me.
Look at you go.
Because I want to be prepared to take water on the race, and I need to have it with me. I need to be able to. I like it right on me. I hate the cups.
Yeah,
I love it just pulling it out, which I can bring it.
The worst thing are those stupid like rubber cups now.
I like the rubber cups.
It's great
because they don't break down, so you can really manipulate them exactly how you want.
Nah,
that looked like I was like putting a D in my mouth. I just realized that.
I didn't know that you would go on top.
My daughter did that the other night. I'm like, I looked at my wife. I'm like,
how do you handle that as a dad?
I didn't say anything because she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
At that point, if she snickers, I'm like, okay, babe. Like,
but like, how do you help her not? Sorry, I was off mic. How do you help her not make motions that? Now that she's in high school, like, how does one prepare? Like, and this is an honest question. This is how in the world do you prepare your kid for gestures that they don't know are not bad, but just they could draw attention they don't want in high
I
school.
think those it's going to be peers that let her know.
That's
I mean,
fair.
if she does it again, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like she's still innocent a
I
little
know,
bit. And
but,
so
like-
if she was 16, I'd be like, hey, like,
yeah,
because we're pretty open about, I mean, we, the other night that we are way tangent, but I ended up like, I was messing around with her and I ended up grabbing her boob. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's like, I know they're tender. I'm almost on my period. Like we talk about that stuff. And so it would be fine for me to say, honey, that looks like you're doing something with a penis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she might be a little embarrassed, but I wouldn't be embarrassed.
Yeah. Because that's the hard part about preparing your kid, because again, I only have a son, so I don't know that, but like, how in the world do you prepare your daughter for like, that's something that means something that you don't necessarily mean?
Man, I'm struggling raising her though because of clothes issues, like trying to keep the right clothes, and Megan and her are like, well, that's not my problem, it's the boy's problem. I'm like, I get it. I want you to be a strong, independent woman.
Yep.
I do. So I'm trying to balance of like,
that's a terrible balance.
Oh, it's so hard. Like
I'm not jealous at all of
I know
you walking through that.
I feel like I want to be a complete dick about it and be like, no, you're not. Because the end thing is a little bit of showing belly and some shorter shorts. And I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, Megan's got a pretty good judgment.
Yeah.
But mine's a little bit more strict. And it's just been a little bit of a battle.
Yeah, definitely. So. I can definitely see that being a battle.
And then a couple other things. I'm ready for layoff. Actually, as we record this tonight, we're starting around 5 tomorrow.
You're starting. Okay, tomorrow. I thought maybe today because like you were like not responding to anything, which is not like
I
you.
was in a mood. It's after the 4 days off, and you're like, I had to get up at 5:30, and it's just like,
and it's your last push.
So yeah, we'll be done in 6 weeks ish with production, depending on how many rain days, and then in like a week in the shop. So
basically, we could title this "Mike Gets Fired" and Jason Wants to Get Fired.
No, I don't want to get fired, but I'm
laid
ready.
Off.
I'm ready at this point. I'm ready to do gig work and be flexible. And then I got to talk about a sexy time fail.
Okay, let's talk about this.
We've talked about like my lack of sex drive has been an issue, but I've been having sex more. I've been putting the conscious effort. I kind of have a breakthrough about that. It's not. Maybe we'll tease that for another time, but a possible breakthrough with that. But anyways, so about like I think it was last week or maybe when I got back from Dallas, we're doing our thing and the fucking bed breaks.
Oh no. Yeah, you broke the
bread.
The bro talk.
Yeah,
you broke the bed.
The bed just like sinks on her side.
Oh no.
So to put in perspective, we have like a handmade bed frame. We had some guy build it. And underneath the bed frame is just 2x4s in brackets that are loose, and they just run the length, right? So apparently one of those had popped out, and so it just gave way. No. It's fine, whatever. And so last night, I'm like, I had missed Megan, and I'm like, all right, let's go. It fucking happened again, but we clunked heads. It hurt. It hurt. Like she has a little mark. Because, we're going, and I'm on time, doing a thing. And the bed broke again. I was like, now I'm pissed. Because at this point, I'm like, all right, we need to figure out what this is.
You do need to figure it out. Apparently, you weren't having enough sex for your bed to break before. Now
I don't
it's breaking
know.
All the time.
Yeah, so we need to pull the bed apart and like maybe secure those boards in with some screws. I don't know. Maybe over time, because, when you jump into the bed, maybe that wood has worn away and it's, I don't know.
But like, here's the thing. She's going to have to call into work because she'll have a concussion. And how is she going to explain the concussion?
Well, I hope she doesn't get a black eye because she bruises like a peach.
Oh, can you imagine black eye and try to tell people that happened because of sex?
Yeah, like I conked like right here, this bone right. Oh, man.
So anyways. Be like, sure. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways. So that's my...
Wow. So one last thing here. So, Jason, you went to Podfest.
Podcast movement, you...
Anyways, you hung around with a bunch of other podcast people, and so we believe here that like part of the cool thing about podcasting is you and I can have different views on things and talk through them.
Yeah,
and Podcast Movement says they're about those things, right?
What is Podcast Movement, Mike?
Podcast Movement is an org that promotes podcasting, right? Isn't that the group that was hosting?
It is, but they've had this for years. They're basically the go-to conference for everything podcast.
Okay.
And so once a year they have a conference for 4 or 5 days. So I don't know how they actually started out, but
So
anyways.
like they are like what most people look up to for podcasts.
Correct.
Okay. So this is a tweet that you had sent me because you were ticked about this tweet.
Oh yeah, and my very good friend Larry, who leans very far right,
Yeah,
was very ticked about it too.
I bet
And-
he was, but I was.
Yeah, he would more likely be ticked, but yeah, me being left leaning, I was ticked too.
You were ticked too. So Podcast Movement said, "Hi folks, we owe you an apology before sessions kick off for the day. Yesterday afternoon, Ben Shapiro briefly visited the PM22 Expo area near the Daily Wire booth. Though he was not signed up or expected, we take full responsibility for the harm done by his presence. There's no way around it. We agreed to sell the Daily Wire a first-time booth based on the company's large presence in podcasting. The weight of that decision is now painfully clear. Shapiro is a co-founder. A drop-in, however unlikely, should have been a considered possibility. Here's the part. We take full responsibility for the harm done by his presence." What?
I was flabbergasted when we saw this. By the way, the tweet has been deleted. They finally deleted
That
it.
is why I screenshot it, because I knew they'd probably delete it.
Well, when you screenshotted it at that point, it had 7,800 comments. I saw it up to like 14,000 at
So
some.
people kept going.
Oh, they kept going. So yeah, basically, the Daily Wire is like the 4th biggest podcast company in the world.
And it's a small company.
Yep.
It's a small privately owned company.
Yep. And obviously Ben Shapiro is a right-wing talking person. I knew of him. I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know anything about him. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about anything about that. So for Podcast Movement to basically say that someone had harm from someone's presence, like there's nobody really alive that is gonna harm me just for them being around.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like your dad coming around would like cause anxiety and
it
harm.
would.
But like it's not. I mean, I don't even agree with most of Ben Shapiro's things, but I don't think he's a harmful person. He just has different views than me.
The person that tweeted, and I would think it was just one person that was a trans person, was like, "Oh, I can't believe you let Ben Shapiro in." By the way, he wasn't in a ticketed area. You can walk in off the street and go to the expo. We were on the expo floor.
Okay.
Like he had a booth on the expo floor. So you did not have to wear a badge. You had to have a badge to get into the sessions.
Yeah.
But not to be on it's in a hotel.
So like I could have flown down there, not
Yep.
bought a ticket, and walked in there
Through the expo. You could have done a lot of the little fun games they were doing, free popcorn. I mean, it was a whole thing, you know.
Yeah. I just hate that we've come to a place in society where it's harmful when somebody with a different view shows up.
Yeah.
And takes pictures.
Yeah.
That's all he did. Take pictures and sign things for people.
And maybe it was a power move by him to do that. I doubt it. I thought he maybe thought it was cool that like, hey, I want to see what this is all about. Like, now he doesn't live in Dallas, so obviously he must have flown down here.
But he's probably a smart businessman.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. There's a podcast festival going on. It's one of the biggest conferences.
Yep.
Your company's paid money to be at the booth. You show up, you sign some things, people think you're really awesome.
The weird part of it is like, oh, so Podcast Movement was okay to take their money on the hush hush, but then someone called them out on it. It's like the whole point of podcasting is just it's conversations. Like, let's not be so woke that we're like say that we're harmed by someone's presence.
Yeah.
Like I could see if he had his penis out or whatever, like, you know, being like inappropriate or saying the N-word or whatever.
Or if he was saying thing about trans people, like they're shouting at them and like, but he was just there signing things. And he has different views. He has conservative views.
Yeah.
And which are different than yours. And I'm kind of in the middle. And so like, yeah.
The hilarious part is like all the liberals that were like, this is bad. This is bad. This does not look good, you guys. What are we doing? Like the whole point of being more on the left side is like just being welcoming of everyone. Yeah. And this is podcasting. Like I would say maybe it leans more left than not. I don't know.
Yeah. But the whole point is that there's just different views. And
statistically it should be 50-50, right?
Yeah.
And anywhere you go, it should be 50-50. But yeah, it was rough. And you know, I always look at it like this, though. Any press is good press.
Yeah. I mean, it was great for Ben Shapiro. I mean, I think Podcast Movement got blasted in not a good way. It was bad press for them.
I'll tell you something right now. I didn't sign up last week, and for the early discount, I could have saved like $20, and I did last year.
Yeah.
I signed up one day after I got home.
Yeah.
Still thinking about it.
It does make it more difficult because you're like, do I want to go to a place that clearly only wants
one-sided there?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I mean, to me, the whole point of podcasts is that it's not owned by rich people who just say this is how you have to believe to have airtime.
Yes, and that's why, a little bit of a soapbox, why I don't like Spotify and the exclusive deals like with Rogan, because it takes the indie out of it. Like,
True.
I have to go to your platform. And that's what has been great about podcasting. Like, there's people that want to get rid of the RSS feed. Like, that's how you own your own content. When that goes away, what are we? We're just bought and sold. Now, would I sell out to a networking company if they offered me a lot of money? Fuck yeah, I would. Like
Spotify, if you want to buy us out for a couple $100 million a year, we'll gladly do that.
Yeah. Well, there's a person, her name is V Spears. She does Under the Desk News that I got to meet.
Okay.
I don't know if you know her,
No.
but she's part of Lemonada Networking Media Company. They got some great stuff on there. If they want to buy our stuff up,
sweet, buy it.
I
Let's go.
Very left leaning, but it's great stuff. Their shows are great. And I can see why they want you to subscribe to their Apple podcast subscription, because they do a lot of ads.
Oh.
And they're promoting a lot of their shows. I'm like, this is why they want you to go subscribe for
Yes.
a certain amount of money. Anyway.
But anyways, you were mad, which was so interesting because, again, like, not interesting, but again, you lean more left, and Ben Shapiro would not be in your wheelhouse. But again, we're both like, I don't know, the world needs free speech.
Well, yeah, and like I said, that's what podcasting is built on.
Yeah.
It's conversations with other people, and that's what it is. I mean, that's it's disgusting.
Podcast Movement, you can do better. You better send out a good apology for your woke apology, we'll say.
Yeah, I don't know if they will. Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
We're gonna boycott them until they do.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I want to go because it's in Dallas, and that's where my buddy who was supposed to go lives.
Yeah.
So I really kind of want to go.
So it's gonna be back in Dallas again?
Or I'm sorry, Denver.
Ooh.
So they're from Dallas. Podcast Movement is.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Colorado.
It seems super nice out there, dude.
Yeah. It's
So
amazing.
it's kind of an excuse for me to go. I wish somehow I could take Megan. If the kids were old enough, like I would take her.
Yes.
And then go at night. We wouldn't. I'm not. They have parties. Like I'm not that guy. Like I
Yeah.
went one night. I stood around, had one drink, got a free T-shirt, and we left.
Yeah.
Like I was there for an hour. I didn't go to the year-end party. It's just, I know I'm gonna sound old. It's super loud. Like we're there to network, you guys.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Like I'm fine if you want to party. Can we split up the room? Can we have a room for people that want to actually network? Have a little bit of music, but I don't want to have to shout. Like I can't network that. Dude, it's that bad. So anyways, I could take Megan, and at night we could go to dinner and just hang out in Denver a little bit. It would be super fun.
But then Larry wouldn't have his bro to go around the hang out
spread COVID. Yeah, for sure.
What's funny is you guys have both come back different years with COVID. So apparently, if you want to get COVID, go to Podcast Movement.
Yeah. Oh man, that's slander. Oh, we're gonna get taken down for that.
We're gonna get sued. Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right. Anything else, Mike?
No.
All right. As we wrap up, so you have no final thoughts. I just want to say thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being my podcast host. I was super excited to come back and record with you, and yeah.
I was excited to come back too. I have no headphones on, so now I don't know if I'm too loud. So.
No, you're perfect.
Yeah,
if you want to sign up for our newsletter, we'll be talking about that after the show.
Newsletter.
You can go after I did a 5-minute effing video for you. That was content gold, asshole.
I could still use it. I think
It's old.
it's old news.
Sign up for our newsletter. You get exclusive content, and it's free, of course. And then patreon.com Threads Podcast. I don't even know if that's actually the link. Just go to. I always just tell people go to patreon.com and search Threads Podcast Life Unfiltered. We'd love for you to sign up for that. You get the live stream at the higher tier, and you get to hear everything first. And then, of course, keep the faith, do your work, and live life unfiltered.